Hello again, race fans. Welcome. It's Sunday night here on VirtualRacing.Network, and you know what that means? Yes, it is time for the Icon Cup Series, and it is the final time that we'll be covering the Icon Cup Series 2023, because this is the finale race here tonight for the whole season. You're in the right place. It's the championship for Sunday here on VirtualRacing.Network. 50 laps in the first stage, 160 overall. And this beautiful racetrack in the desert will see us crown an Icon champion at the end of the evening. Hello again, everybody. I'm Trevor Greenfield. Welcome once again. And we are so grateful to have you here with us on YouTube Live. We're also going to be simulcasting out there to Facebook and Twitch as well. So make sure to say hello to us anywhere that you're watching from. And by the way, here in the booth tonight, of course, we'll be joined, as always, by team owner here in the Icon Cup Series and legendary sim racer, Christian Snyder, as well as racer in the Icon Cup Series, Hanover Fist. Welcome, guys, to the booth. Christian, what can we expect here at Phoenix from the Championship 4?
Well, if it's anything like today, I'm sure it's going to be a great race. The Real Life Cup Series did not disappoint. In the years past, it's kind of been boring here at Phoenix and kind of a long race, but today was an absolutely great race, and I expect the same from these guys here in Icon. We got 4 guys running for the championship. I'm sure at some point in this race, we're going to see all 4 of them in the first through 4th positions in this one, if not all qualifying in the top 4. It's usually how that works out. Can't wait to see what happens and who wins this championship at the end of the night. It's been a long season. Wish I was here last week for that amazing cutoff race, but unfortunately wasn't able to. But glad I'm here tonight for this one.
Absolutely great to have you with us. And Hanover, I know you'd love to be out there, but tonight wasn't feeling like the night to get out there. Still, you got a great place to sit here and watch this championship unfold and our icon get crowned.
Yeah, raced with these guys. Only missed the first race of the season, but racing with these guys all season, kind of knowing near the end of the season who was going to really be pushing it. But it's been, once they got into the chase, these guys have been battling. So it'll be to see who doesn't make the big mistake tonight.
Well, it will be interesting to see who holds on until the end. Very interesting. Of course, all eyes will be focused on that championship 4, and they'll be in the yellow all night on the left-hand side. Nathan Finnegan, Justin Michael, Vincent Loria, and Timothy Harper, your championship 4. One of them will walk away holding on to that steering wheel with white knuckles, I'm sure, by the end of this one, but they will walk away and be crowned that Icon Cup Series champion. And it's all even. All the points are squared up, so whoever finishes the highest tonight will be that champion. There will be no stage points awarded either, so that will be an interesting twist to the tale. Tim Harper out there to get those qualifying laps in. Guys, I know this is, we say it every week, but if there's one race that you'd like to try to qualify a little bit higher at, this would be the one.
Yeah, and I was watching Justin Michael there, his time. The reason he's so low, his second lap, as he's coming to the start-finish line, he scraped the wall and lost his lap time. So he's going to be starting from the rear of the field tonight, which that's going to be a tough thing to overcome. You can see all 3 of the other ones, first, second, and third. So seeing Justin Michael clear down in 18th, oh man, he's got a lot to come back from.
Well, it takes a slight rub in the wall here to really throw your lap time up.
Definitely. This track's so much about rhythm and getting everything right, especially in the longer runs. But of course, we'll see. We've seen it in all of the championship races in real life that have been decided here this weekend. It's certainly in the short runs. We've seen 3 wide, 4 wide, door banging, as it's just as much contact as you can imagine. Anybody fighting it out. for that championship that has a chance, and they will go for it by the end. So this should be an absolute barn burner here tonight. We'll see whether or not we get those long green flag runs. Here's Ronnie Norman getting in his qualifying effort, and good enough for 8th fastest thus far. Ronnie and Cody Neal here on the screen were both championship contenders as of the last round, and unfortunately getting cut heading into the championship 4. But hey, there's only enough room for 4, so you had to chop it down somewhere.
Well, this is kind of practice for Ronnie Norman here tonight. He's heading into Tuesday for a championship, so he's getting some track time here tonight, and he's hoping for a win out there on Tuesday. But you can see qualifying over the front 3, they're all championship guys, so they're doing what they need to do here already.
Absolutely. We'll be taking a look at that in just one moment. Here you can see it on your screen, 2023 playoff standings. This is your top 4. We've already mentioned it, but it looks so good up there on the screen if you're one of these top 4 drivers, just to know that one of these guys is going to walk out of here with that championship crown. So with that, let's go ahead and set your grid for tonight's finale for the Icon Cup Series. And it will be, of course, we can make sure we get that correct there. Vincent Loria is set for the top spot. He takes pole position. Starting alongside him will be Nathan Finnegan. And just behind in the second row will be Tim Harper and Cody Neal. Starting just behind them in that third row, Jacob Gladelich. And I know a lot of these drivers in the back still racing. They're going to be racing for wins. I know Cody Neal, Ronnie Norman, they would all love to spoil this night and take the victory out of the hands of one of these championship drivers. So continuing here, we have Adam Ball starting next to Jacob Gladelich, and then Sean Purcell and Jamison Haviland. The next row will be Kyle Purcell and Zach Lockett. Brennan Jenks for Full Send Esports alongside of Evan Patinko. And then it'll be Scott Patton and Ryan Patty. Brock Hersey with Justin Michael. And starting in 19th place will be, that was Brock Hersey. Starting in 21st, Jordan Byers. And then a newcomer to the series, Robert Bluen. And in 23rd, actually it won't be Hanover Fist, and I'm not sure if Cody Eldred is going to make the start. I don't think Cody will be making the start tonight.
Yeah, I don't see him out there, so I think he's going to miss this one. But man, it's a pretty big field here for the finale. 22 cars still out there, so it's going to be a great race. A lot of attrition, a lot of tire saving, because the short run you can be great, but I tell you what, it's going to come down to the long run. I think this one's going to have a few less cautions than we normally see here in the Icon Cup Series.
Yes, indeed, and I mean, it might not. We've surprised ourselves. Dover was not so bad.
Yeah. So
we'll keep that in check. These guys have been known to go out there for the entire first stage and get in a great green flag run. So we'll see. Green flag is out. We are underway here for the finale race of the Icon Cup Series 2023. Vincent Loria jumps out to an early lead. Nathan Finnegan on the outside. A lot of cars still trying to figure it out throughout the field. 3 wide into turn number 1. Tim Harper back there trying to find his way through. Top 3 still where they started.
You see that Purcell got into the wall pretty hard, and now I think that's the 8 car hard into the wall there.
That is, in fact, Jordan Byers hard into the wall, but no yellow flag comes out. We're still under green. Vincent Loria, the top, and looks like we've got some more problems back here.
Wow, what a save. That's the 10.
Back up.
Did you see that? He was almost completely sideways in front of the entire field, gets that thing righted, and he's not even in last place. He's still out there in the top 20.
That was absolutely crazy. Hanover What are your thoughts on tonight? Who's our top driver out of the championship 4? Who do you think, having raced against everyone here, is the one that you would circle?
Just because I know his tenacity, especially on these shorter tracks, is I'm really thinking that Finnegan may have it tonight.
You're saying Finnegan. I'm thinking it's that guy in the number 12 car, the real life race, the number 12 won. Tim Harper, he's a big fan of Blaney. I think he's going to carry that excitement that he had from watching his favorite driver win today and go out there and win the championship. He's one of the best drivers in the field at running long and saving those tires. So I think it's going to be in his wheelhouse tonight for this short track. He won there earlier in the season in Nora, so he's got winning experience here at this track, so I think he can pull it off.
Well, bold calls from both of you, considering Justin Michael in the field. By the way, let's check in on Justin Michael. Where's he at? How about up to 8th place? Does this guy know how to shake and bake or what? 12 positions gained and still moving forward. The driver from West Virginia is on the move and in a hurry.
Someone's got to let him know that the hard charger bonus points don't apply here. It is just strictly where you finish. But he is definitely going to get the hard charger if he's able to finish up here in the top 5 here at the end of the night.
Well, certainly got to still keep those tires underneath him. Some of the drivers taking that dog leg down to the inside. Kyle Purcell, one of those drivers.
Little contact there with Kevin Gunther there.
Definitely, and look at Michael continue to move as Cody Height has a problem and is starting to drift backwards.
Yeah, it looks like he tagged the wall coming out of 2 there. Not too significant, but he's definitely going to lose 2 or 3 spots from that.
Well,
he's still dropping back.
iRacing's funny. You can just chip that wall lightly and have a 0x and no big deal. You can chip it again, and next thing you know, your front wheel's tangled. It's been really weird.
Yeah, we saw it in real life. Austin Cindric, he barely got into the wall, broke his right rear, pretty much ended his day, and then at the same time, you saw Joey Logano get into the wall, his teammate. He hit it pretty hard, almost harder than Cindric, and there was no damage. So iRacing, I guess, is keeping it realistic in that aspect.
True. And the tire wear from the time I was out running laps was pretty even. You weren't burning heavy on the right front. You weren't really burning heavy on the right rear. It's pretty even and not too bad side to side. So, as long as you keep a steady, momentum run through here and don't try to power some of these tight corners, I think tire wear will be pretty decent for the runs.
Yeah, certainly something to consider, especially if you're somebody like Justin Michael, who's already snagged 13 spots, and some of these other drivers who are really pushing hard. How hard do you push? I mean, we're only on lap 10. You got to make it to lap 50. I mean, you don't want to use up all your stuff that quick. There's Jacob Gladelich now pulling it down to the low line. He's lost 6 positions. Some other drivers really not faring well out there. Adam Ball dropping back 8 spots. And again, some of this may be them saying, look, I want to hold on to these tires. I don't want to use up everything in the first 20 laps or so. I want to be there for the end of the first stage. Some of it may be that they are, in fact, struggling out there right now and actually drifting backwards in the field. You really don't know until you get to the end of the long run.
Yeah, good to see Ryan Patty out there. I wasn't here last week. I wasn't sure if he was there, but good to see that 30 car back out on the track. It's been a couple races where he wasn't out there, so good to see him running pretty well. I think he's in 11th place there.
Indeed, and you were missed incredibly, Christian, and your expertise missed on top of it, so it's a pleasure to have you back in the booth.
I try my best at expertise. I don't know. I get that, the legend of iRacing every time I am announced by you, so I don't know. Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. I don't know.
Well, you've taken some wins. Why not? Hey, we're free to say whatever we want here in VirtualRacing.Network. Timmy Harper, he's one of the championship 4. Well, he's drifted back 1 spot. Cody Neal, who has been coming on so strong at the end of this season, he's managed to snatch away that 3rd spot from him. Tim Harper now having another look on the inside of Cody Neal there. But just a little ways back now already is Justin Michael. And I think we're having some technical difficulties here, but from one of the drivers, Evan Patinko, I believe, dropping in and out, having some issues with his internet connection. But Brendan Jinks and Adam Ball racing back here in 15th, 16th spot, side by side for position.
Yeah, and that's real dangerous whenever you have a car completely disappear for like an entire corner. Because right now, Jacob and Brendan, both of them have no idea where Patinko is, or if he's finally just out of the session. But he could pop back up and he could be inside one of these cars. Oh, there he is. Oh, man.
Exactly.
And lately, hopefully this last update got the glitch out of it. You could have a car reappear and physically drop on top of you. I had that this season. It was like first time I'd seen the undercarriage on my hood like that. And it was at Daytona in turn 1 in a pack, and I was in second place, and the leader's car went up, and as it came down and landed on my hood, and usually it goes through. It didn't. It physically landed on my hood. Next thing I know, both of us are heading for the infield. So those glitches can really throw your game off.
Yeah, and there was just a pass for third place there. Harper got by Cody Neal. He saved his tires a little bit early. Cody Neal kind of drove him off, and he gets back by him. So now Harper, he's slowly reeling in those front two. Talked about it earlier. He's really good at tire saving, and now he's starting to catch these two.
Well, certainly Harper getting into position once again, and he's struggled to get that elusive race win, but he's been there consistently in the top 5 fighting all season long. And right now he's doing exactly that. He's sitting there in third. This is the type of front-running effort that we've seen out of Timmy Harper, and he's really sharpened up his pace here recently, especially in the Icon Cup Series.
Yeah, he messaged me earlier this week, and he said, hey, what are the odds? Like, who's the championship favorite over an Icon? Because, you know, jokingly throughout the season, I've been saying, like, oh, he's odds-on favorite. And Harper, he likes those odds. He likes coming to me and asking who I think's going to win. And I told him, if you go out there and perform like you've been doing, you got this thing. So hopefully my little pep talk to my former driver helps him get a dub here.
Well, we will see. And it's still a long ways to go. About 30 laps remaining here in the first stage. Finnegan and Loria fighting it out for the top 2 spots. Although the gap has kind of grown between them. They're just kind of settling in. Timmy Harper has meanwhile managed to get back by Cody Neal, and he's starting to come back forward as well. So we'll see whether or not they all three can come back together. It'll be interesting to see here momentarily whether Harper can reel in Finnegan and possibly make that pass and get himself into position here at the end of this stage. But very interesting, guys, to see that the championship contenders, much like the real life series, have all managed to get themselves into contention positions up here at the front.
Yeah, it's no surprise that they're, you know, up here. They're the 4. They're supposed to be the 4 best in the league. That's who you're supposed to have as your final 4, is your 4 best drivers. So there's no surprise that, you know, it's first, second, third, and then Michael, he's popped into the top 7 after starting 20th. So after the stage 1 caution, he should be able to get back into a good enough spot that he could probably be running in 4th place right now and be up here with these guys.
He may have pushed just a little hard getting those spots because he's kind of stalled out where he's at right now. But I think he's kind of thinking he's made it this far forward if I just hang on the last here to the end of the stage and get fresh rubber, then go for that next jump.
Yeah, exactly. He did what he needed to do early. He needed to pass as many cars as possible, get in position for that stage caution so that he's able to pit and get 4 tires and be able to save those tires. These ones, he just needed to absolutely push and get as many positions early as he could. I think they were like 3 and 4 wide, and he was able to capitalize. So this is a good run here for Justin Michael so far.
Yeah, he's showing a lot of pace out there, currently up 13 spots. But if you take a look, the top 4 are exactly back to where they qualified. No change now in that order. But then you go from 5th on back, and you got some real movers and shakers. You start with Ronnie Norman. And by the way, we're seeing that Sean Purcell making a pit stop. So something to note for the Purcell fans out there. He was once part of this championship hunt. But Ronnie Norman, 4 positions gained, now into 5th spot. Jamison Havlin, 2 positions gained, now up into 6th spot. Justin Michael with 13 positions, and it looks like he's gearing up to possibly score a 14th. There's Kyle Purcell with 5 positions gained, currently running in that 8th spot. Ryan Patty, 9 positions gained in the 9th spot, and your top 10, 10th place driver is Scott Patton, who is up 7 positions. And again, Patty, Patton, Justin Michael, Ronnie Norman, Nathan Finnegan, Vincent Loria, all race winners. I believe even Cody Neal part of that race winner group. So any one of these guys here tonight could take that race win. And of course, the 4 in yellow, they very well could take the championship crown as well, or they will take the championship crown.
Earlier in this season, there was a time when you look at, Ryan Patty, Scott Patton, they were 2 favorites to make it to the Final Four, but unfortunate circumstances kept them out from being able to get into the top 4. Like we've mentioned, Patty missed a few races, and Patton also missed too many races to advance to the next round. So, but they definitely have enough talent that they could have made it to the Final Four here, and they are still side by side for the past 2 laps here.
I had enough races, just not enough talent.
We can't all be Nathan Finnegan and Vincent Loria. It's got to come down to it, but maybe next season will be your season, Hanover.
Well, next year I'll take a harder shot at a lot of these. I won't just kind of sit back and, like this year, just qualify in the back and stay out of the way and until I figure the drivers out. After a season, I know who I can get near and who I got to be a little leery of, and that's a lot of it.
Absolutely, always about figuring it out, and Justin Michael has absolutely figured it out. He's, without a doubt, one of the top drivers in the sport and continuing to make fantastic progress here tonight. But taking a look back up front, it is Vincent Loria, but now Nathan Finnegan has a mirror full of Timmy Harper. So before too long, we might see these two having a little bit of a tussle.
Yeah, Tim is coming alive at the time he normally does in the run. I wish he would teach me his secrets, because I usually burn my tires off 10 laps into the run. So I gotta hit him up and see what the secret is. Oh man, he slides that corner, little deep in. Luckily he saves it there. He's gonna keep straight. Gonna defend the bottom here from behind there of Cody Neal.
Again, this setup likes to kind of do a side push where it isn't like the nose is pushing or the tail is loose. It's just the whole car. If you hit your mark each time, it doesn't bother you, but you missed it by a couple feet, and it's a handful.
Yeah, indeed. This is one of those tracks where, inches are a mile, and you need to make sure that you get you dot your T's, you cross your T's, you dot your I's, and you get every single entry, every single exit exactly right, because otherwise you're going to cost yourself time, or you're going to slide up the track. Worse would be if you make contact with another car. Wow, I think both Loria and Finnegan getting loose there off the corner. 33 laps in, guys. They still have to survive another 20 laps or so, 17 laps.
Yeah, I didn't do any testing throughout the week to see what these cars are like, and I didn't ask the people that I normally ask how the car is, so because I was watching the Eagles game and it ended right before we came live, so didn't have time to ask Ronnie or Tim how the car's handling. It appears it's very loose out there for all these guys.
You didn't want to just do the Josh Conover thing and put a little TV in the cockpit of the car and go cruise around track? No.
No, I had to have that one full screen. I you know, the 40-inch, I had to have it up there.
Well, right now,
50.
all the focus here on this race. Sorry, Hanover.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I just going to say 56-inch on the other side of the living room, but just high enough it's above my monitor. So, yeah, I've been guilty when the Vikings have had a weeknight game where I've had to do the glance up over the glasses thing once in a while. And yay, thank you, Arizona. We love your ex-quarterback.
Yeah, Josh Dobbs, he was doing really good for Arizona, and now he's over there in the Vikings. So oh man, Harper really loose.
Wow. That was
I think
right
I
on
spoke
the
too
edge
soon. I usually hold him to a high standard on that tire saving, but I think he's absolutely burned those right rears off.
Well, and the track is going to be changing tonight too, because last couple of weeks we've had time lock, so our conditions never change through the run.
And we have a yellow out here. I believe it's Sean Purcell.
It is. I see him stop on the backstretch there. We'll have to see what happened to Purcell. We saw him pit earlier, came back out, and let's see what happens here. Man, that's a weird one there.
Yeah, that's partly this car. It likes to overcorrect when you're just trying to give it a little wheel to come back from that loose feeling, and it'll snap. There you go.
And this car, I've been saying it for this entire season. This car is absolutely in need of some type of fix because it is just a handful. No matter what track it's at. I mean, we were at the Roval and people were calling it a pogo stick. So this car is definitely in need of some work for next season.
Well, guys, this is a very interesting call. Take a look at this split strategy from our top runners. Although I'm not sure. Oh, I see, because they're still circulating on the outside of the track. But as these top runners of Vincent Loria and Nathan Finnegan, as well as Timothy Harper, have now come down into the pits, Justin Michael has elected to stay out on the track on the old tires. Very interesting call here.
Yeah,
Meanwhile,
this could work for him though, because he's going to have an extra set of tires at the end of the race if there happens to be a caution.
And that second stage being 110 laps, well, 108 after the pacing. But, I mean, you're going to need all the tire you can get.
well, very interesting call. I wonder if we can bring Justin Michael up for a quick interview.
I can pull him real quick.
Yeah, let's see if we can do that. Appreciate that. There
he is.
Hey,
Justin Michael, it's Trevor and Christian up in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir.
We're going to pull you up for a quick interview. Is that all right?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, so how's your race going so far? I mean, we saw you qualifying. You got the wall a little bit, missed on your second lap, so you came through the field real quick, and now you find yourself in the lead. What do you got here for tonight?
Yeah, I think this was the only way I could get up here. I don't like this track. I never run good here, so I hate that it's the last race of the season, but we'll hopefully we can pull off the pit strategy. We'll have an extra set of tires now, so that'll hopefully we get some late yellows, and that'll really work to our advantage.
Well, I think you really impressed Trevor. He was he looked up and he saw you in 9th place about 5 laps into the race and was like, "There's no way." So, I mean, that was really good run there at the beginning. But did your tires just kind of fall off there after a little bit and you couldn't gain any more positions?
Yeah, I think I burned them off trying to get through there. I sent it 4 wide on somebody there on that first lap, I think, and I don't know. I can't save tires here for some reason. I never have been able to. All around, it's a very bad track for me. It's kind of like running New Hampshire. I don't like it, so turn it into a bass fishing tournament. That's what I think we should do.
I'll vote with that. I'll vote with that.
Trevor, you got anything before we let him get back here?
Championship 4, it's all on the line. What do you are you willing to put it all in here at the end of the race if it comes down to banging on some doors?
Oh, I ain't got no problem with that. No, let's if I'm there and there's a chance, we'll go for it. I'll even send it down to the wall here in 1 and 2. It don't matter.
Well, good luck to you, and I believe we'll be talking with you at the end of this race, and you're starting next to your teammate.
Thanks, guys.
Bye. So that was Justin Michael, and he's won of the championship 4. He has come 19 positions now gained, and this has just been absolutely phenomenal. One of the things that gets me about this track, though, Christian, and I always forget this, restart zone starts on the backstretch.
Well, technically the front stretch now, but what used to be the backstretch, yeah. So
There you go.
They pit on the backstretch, which makes this very weird. So they're just now going, but the pace car's been in for the past like 30 seconds. So yeah, it's a very weird track, and you can see them fan out over that dog leg, and that's why they moved the start-finish line to where they did. It creates a lot better racing, in my opinion. But you can see Justin Michael so far able to pull out to the lead, but I think Vincent Loria on those new tires is going to be a threat pretty quickly here.
Well, Justin Michael and Scott Patton on those old tires. Wow, it almost looked like Loria moved Patton a little bit, and we might have some cars touching the wall, but nobody pulling out a yellow at this moment. Everybody, of course, going over those bumps as they come down onto that dog leg and cut that short and then come back up onto the racetrack.
And you can mess that up easily, too. If you hit at the wrong angle, coming right over the start-finish line, if you dive at the wrong angle, that apron will get your car to bounce, and you'll never get control of it before you're ready to come back on.
Yeah, we saw Kyle Larson do that in real life. He turned down a little early, and the car hopped a little bit, and he went sideways. What kind of gave Ryan Blaney the lead of the race, so it could come down to a move like that at the end, but I tell you what, Vincent Loria has got to be happy that he's got Cody Neal behind him. That's a teammate, and he's going to be willing to block for him.
Well, he's doing a bang-up job at the restart, but now Cody Neal he does manage to take that inside line and defend the position from Nathan Finnegan. So it's always interesting as they come through that dog leg. It looks like the car on the outside might take over the position, but you do have to keep in mind that shortest way through a corner is the fastest way, as he does take that inside line again. Now, I remember back when we were covering Nora here, as now it does look like Justin Michael is starting to fade. There he is all the way back in 7th place, so perhaps we might question that call at some point here towards the end of this stage, but we did see this in Nora where some of the drivers, they would take that inside line too many times and it wouldn't quite work for their cars. So we'll see whether or not that's the case here tonight. So far, everybody hanging on to it. Ronnie Norman has entered pit lane and has left. And then Jamison Haviland and Cody Height, all three of those drivers have come in, visited pit lane, and left.
Well, I think actually because of how this track works, I think they were just so low in turns 1 and 2 that it registered them coming into the pit, but they did not.
You're right. It's just our software freaking out. Don't mean to freak out any of our watchers out there.
Hey, you almost scared Steven Dombrowski. He was like, no, what? Ronnie Pitt?
Well, here we are on lap 48, guys. We're going to lap 50. 2 more laps until the stage break here.
I was on blimp view on Ronnie, and I was going, what are you talking about? But no, there are a few tracks where it'll do that. If you're down low enough, it'll act like you're going into the pits.
And this track's definitely one of them with how low they get through 1 and 2. Sometimes you get below that yellow line and it says, oh, you want to pit now?
Yep.
Well, don't count this guy out. It's his league. He's the admin. And he's gotten some race wins. Ryan Patty now 13 positions gained. He's all over the back of Tim Harper. He just set the fastest Sector 2 time of the race, and he's looking to possibly take some positions here in this final lap. But now on the 50th lap, we'll come to the close of this lap, and that will be our stage break. Vincent Loria in control here so far of this entire race. Cody Neal now in 2nd place. Nathan Finnegan in 3rd. So will it be the 22-year-old from Michigan who ends up taking the Icon Cup Series crown and gets crowned an icon? That is the question. We'll find out here in just about another 109 laps. And we're going to take a momentary break here on VirtualRacing.Network while everyone else decides to pit. We'll be right back. Welcome back here on VirtualRacing.Network, and it has been an absolute tear for this guy, the driver of the number 67 Toyota for 313 Motorsports, Vincent Loria. He has been unstoppable tonight, and now we're joined by him. And Vincent, congratulations on the run here so far tonight in that championship 4. How's it feeling to you? You think you got it to go to the end and get crowned an icon?
Yeah, it's been going good. Clean air up here has been nice. I feel like that's kind of has a lot to do with the good run I've had so far. Put down a good qualifying lap, and I've just been able to stay out front. Unfortunate call by my crew chief there to not pit at the stage. Had a little miscommunication as to what lap was stage and when you could actually go down into the pits. So, if I don't win the championship, I think his job may be in question.
Interesting. Missed cue to get down into the pits. Well, we'll see how all that plays out. And we did see that Justin Michael came down and took and decided not to pit when all of you guys decided to pit. So he slid backwards, and currently he's sitting all the way back in 12th place. Do you feel better about starting with clean air in front of you?
Yeah, now I'm going to have like 8 lap, older tires, so I'm not entirely sure how it'll pan out, but the only benefit, I guess, is him and I may have an extra set at the end if we get a couple cautions at some key times. So I guess we'll see how it all plays out here.
Well, best of luck to you. We'll talk to you after the race.
All right, thanks, guys.
That's Vincent Loria, and the truck comes off the track. He's about ready to step on the gas pedal.
I tell you what,
little bit.
This is the hardest part right here because of the new rules within iRacing. You have to maintain that speed perfectly for that entire straightaway and the corner the whole way to the green or to the restart zone. So it's very tough.
And this track has been notorious that if you're on the outside car, if you're just even with the leader, it seems to want a black flag and say that you took off. Oh.
It's Zach Lockett and Brock Hersey who are going to bring out our caution.
Oh, you know who that just saved? He'll go to the pits now for sure.
Vincent Loria.
I don't know.
Yeah.
He might stay out now because if he pits, it's going to send him back to 15th. So
yeah,
I think track position over tires right now would be better because he only has, I would say, 10 to 15 laps on those tires. So I think he's okay enough that he could manage until a green flag stop, possibly.
Well, Loria,
maybe if another 10 laps go by and then he pits, then I can see that.
Loria in on lap 38.
Yeah, so he doesn't have too many laps on those tires. Green flag laps, that is. So I think he's still in a good enough position that he can stay out.
Well, and clean air does do a lot to help get the nose of this car down.
Certainly. Well, it's been an interesting run so far for Vincent Loria and Nathan Finnegan, Cody Neal, Ryan Patty. These drivers have had such an interesting season. As mentioned, Cody Neal has come on late. He was a strong contender through the last round of the playoffs and just getting cut off heading into this championship 4. But here tonight, he's been looking very strong, like he may have something to say about a potential race win. And Ryan Patty, again, he's done a stellar job hosting this series and adminning the series week in, week out. He works at it each week with several others, including Nathan Finnegan, and had to take some time off for some personal stuff, and then got eliminated from the playoffs because of that. And we were a little errant last week, thinking that if he had been able to win, that he would be in, and it wouldn't have worked that way because he needed to be in for more rounds of that playoff, of that bracket. So as a result, he wouldn't have been in even if he had won, but still out here, he'd love to take a race win, and each and every week he's so competitive. Of course, we've had Ryan Patty on our broadcast as an announcer several times, and also he's been featured in other series that we cover here on VirtualRacing.Network, running for you, Christian, I believe.
Yeah, it's been a while since he's run the 84 car over in Nora, and we miss him. he was running really good for us. He got a second place for us, so hopefully he's able to come back Tuesday and run the last one. I think he said next season he's interested in also running part-time for me, so he'll stick around the team, and who knows, maybe we can have like a little group alliance here in Icon too next season.
Well, and I race with him when he has a chance on Thursday nights over in the other league that I do.
Oh, very cool. Well, it's always cool how close these groups get, and you know, just since Icon started up, now Nora's been around for, you know, five years now, and it's just great to see when a new group starts up that there's so much interest in this group that's running on Sunday night, and as a result, some of the drivers coming over from Tuesdays and Mondays over into this Sunday league and vice versa. Just been great to see that camaraderie, and obviously it continue into Thursdays and other various leagues that are out there. But tonight, all the gloves are off, and it's going to be everybody for themselves. There's no more happy friends, and just because they run for you on Tuesday night doesn't mean that they're going to show your driver any sort of friendship here tonight. So we'll see. Green flag comes out. We are back underway. Vincent Loria still with that lead. Nathan Finnegan in second. Ryan Patty in third. Timmy Harper in fourth. And I tell you, that dog leg is just incredible the way it shakes up this competition. It's like a Joker lap.
It really is. That's actually really accurate.
As we were saying about that bounce, I think Neil got affected by the bounce, and that's why Harper had to kind of make a quick move to get around him.
Well, here you can see it. Oh, Brennan Jinks, hard in the wall.
Oh, well, speaking of my team, that's not what I wanted to see.
Well, and I was just going to mention that Jinx was racing side by side really well with Justin Michael, and Jinx had gotten himself up into the top 10. So let's we'll take a step back here and take a look at this one from overhead, and we'll do the thing that we do best, and that is cover the incidents in replay.
You mean embarrass the drivers in replay?
Pretty much, yeah. Oh, same thing that you talked about.
Yep.
Technically, they're embarrassing themselves. We just happen to capture it and go over it over and over
and over
again.
and over. Yeah.
Yep. Let's watch it from onboard this time. This is what Jenks saw.
He just messaged me and he said, I had a feeling this was going to happen. So I guess he's been having that all night, and that just happens to him there.
Yeah, if you hit it late like that too, where you're close to the arc of the curb, that's a steeper bounce right there too. It isn't, as low an angle between them, so it's easy for the car to kind of hop. And if you've got throttle on, it's going to be crazy.
Guys, you got to watch this in-car from Ronnie Norman. This is going to be something else coming through this corner.
Oh, it happened behind him there.
Oh, it did. Okay. You could see it from Brendan Jenks with Norman getting by, but I guess he got very, very lucky. We'll take one more look at this one. And we'll watch it from Stephen Tuck's point of view. Sees it happening just up in front of him.
Woo-hoo! Now that's a view.
That is
We call that a clinch as a driver because your muscles are definitely clenching.
I think Josh Conover would call that a brown pants moment, and
Or a pucker moment, or
yeah, he would go, I need some tires, some fuel, and a new pair of pants whenever I come into the pits.
Well, I tell you, it's been a lot of fun so far. Of course, it's been so much fun to watch the Icon Cup Series all season long. There's been so many great races, and those of you who have joined us for all of the races and been fans to these great drivers out here, we certainly appreciate it. Certainly Stephen Dombrowski following Ronnie Norman around each night that he can, and Jacob Gladelich checking in with us each night that he's out there racing. Obviously, he can't participate too much, but he gives us the wave to start it. Andrew S. says, "Let's go BMS, Bandit Motorsports." Bandit Racing 28, let's go Bandit Motorsports. So, of course, Bandit getting a lot of support out here tonight. And, that would be Justin Michael. And certainly Justin has had a fantastic season. And he's taken some wins by a large margin. Been practically unstoppable. But there's been so many great runs from so many great drivers. And again, if you're not already subscribed here at VirtualRacing.Network, make sure to hit that subscribe button. But also, you can watch all of the Icon Cup Series races from 2023. Just binge it over the course of a weekend, back to back to back. You can watch it right here on our YouTube channel in our playlist section. So with that, we're ready to come back to the green flag here in just a moment. Vincent Loria, Nathan Finnegan, Ryan Patty, Timmy Harper, your top four. Jamison Havlin, Justin Michael back into the 6th position. Ronnie Norman, Kevin Gunther now into the top 10. Cody Height has recovered as well back into the top 10. And Scott Patton is the 10th place car. And Finnegan blinks out a little bit. Very dangerous in these close quarters here. As we watch on, they come through the dog leg. And Michael taking massive advantage of it, already up into that 5th position. He said he sent it like 4 wide on the first lap through the dog leg.
Yeah, he almost did it again there.
Well, he's racing side by side with Tim Harper, one of the championship contenders. So this is 2 of your championship leaders going at it. And now Tim gets a little bundled up by Ryan Patty. And now they'll continue on the low side. Patty drops back a little bit on the outside. Haviland coming up on the outside, as well as Ronnie Norman.
And Patty is driving it pretty deep into the corner. I'm sure Tim's looking in his mirror. Oh, please don't run me over.
Here comes Haviland.
Well, it's real easy to lose your rhythm on this track, and it'll take you a lap to get back to it, too.
Oh, man, that's tight racing right there. Being that inside car is so difficult because with how this track works, you always drift up the track in the middle of the corner. If that guy on your outside is just pinching you down, it usually leads to contact and a spin.
Speaking of, Looks like Haviland almost sending that one around. Ronnie Norman manages to get by for the 6th spot. And Norman kind of doing what he's known to do. He just pushes hard all race long, but not too hard. Takes advantage where he can. Right now, up into that 6th spot.
Yeah, if I'm him, I'm testing different strategies out, different lines throughout this race. He doesn't need to go out there and win this thing. He needs to learn what he can and can't do for Sunday or for Tuesday, which is going to be completely different. Tuesday, it's going to be during the day. It's going to be a lot hotter, a lot slicker. But he can learn some things here tonight, and that's what he's got to do. He's just got to try different strategies to see what can work.
Well,
Where your best momentum line is, because that's the secret here, is keeping that momentum up through the whole round of the track. Each lap, if you get a little off of one corner, it'll still throw off the next corner and the next,
Yeah, typically through 1 and 2, you see those drivers like running the middle of the track to high part of the track late in the runs, and that's because you keep that momentum up. But down here in 3 and 4, it's pretty much yellow line or nothing. That inside is just so valuable over there in 3 and 4 coming toward the start-finish line. But down here you can see cars go to the bottom, some will go to the middle like the 25 did, and some will go right up against the wall to keep their momentum up. You can see Cody Height having a good run there on the bottom. Pretty hard to do, but if you can get your left side tires on that yellow line, it can really help the cars through that corner.
There's a fine line of getting them on it just up a little bit, and it seems like once the tire gets too far up on that yellow, it starts to over-rotate you. But yeah, the longer corner being a little flatter corner too, the rubbering is kind of spread out, but as you watch them come into 3, there is only one line. I mean, this looks like Daytona Road near the end. It's just one lane of running through there, and that's it.
Yeah, in 3 and 4, I tell you what, I've had some experiences in 3 and 4. If you start losing your rhythm, it's possible to hit that inside wall going into 3 and 4. I've done it quite a few times. You kind of lose your rhythm and turn a little too early, smack the wall. They've kind of made it a little better over the years, but it still sticks out there if you turn too early.
I hit it in an IndyCar, and that's not when you're gonna hit. There's no coming back after that. You're just toast.
Trevor, you ever hit the wall in your IndyCar?
oh yeah, this is a great track for. It's mostly exiting. I guess it would be turn 4 now. That's the easiest one. Back in the day when it was reversed, turn 2, exiting onto the backstretch, it's just too easy, and it is so different. I mean, I've driven this in NASCAR next gen machine. I've driven this in the IndyCar, and definitely both of them so different with the speeds that you carry. It drives so differently. But with all that speed that you carry through the corners, it becomes really tempting to push it really hard through 3 and 4, as it is now, and it used to be 1 and 2. That exit off of 4 comes up really fast.
I did try the new IRO1, and that was about the easiest open wheel car I've ever driven here.
Yeah. It's got a lot of, again, Indy cars, the IRO1, they all have significantly more downforce than the NASCAR machine. So it's such a more pure driving experience to drive one of these cars because you really get a sense of the weight transfer and far less downforce to be able to stick the car through the corner. But that being said, boy, is it fun to be able to throw the thing in there an extra 30, 40, 50 miles an hour faster in the corner. And stick, exactly.
And stick, yeah. Well, I mean, the old one is an imaginary car anyway. They haven't actually built one. But yeah, here it's so easy to overdrive these corners just because you'll get rear bumper itis where you can see them and you're gonna make a little ground up on them, and then you come in and you miss your mark because you're watching him. Next thing you know, you're just hanging on to that whole corner. Then he drives away from you, and then you're stuck trying to get back up to him. So, yeah, it's easy to get distracted here, too.
Well, there are a lot of great battles happening right now. I mean, the first one up, Justin Michael, is by Tim Harper, and Harper and Patty now racing nose to tail with Ronnie Norman in the picture. So these three running in less than a second apart, and that is one of the battles. The next battle happening back here, you can see Cody Neal and Cody Height racing side by side through the dog leg, with Jamison Havlin very close by here in the 25. Kyle Purcell just a shout back here for Chicagoland Racing in 10th place, and Kevin Gunther right behind in 11th. We go back here and take a look at Stephen Tuck, and just in front of him, Jacob Gladelich in the Full Send Esports machine, but Zach Lockett now taking a look on the underside of Stephen Tuck. That's for 14th through 16th. So a lot of great battling happening out here, but look at this. Tim Harper has caught Justin Michael here for third place again.
Yeah, his tires are starting to come in, but he's got to be careful, because we saw last time he overstepped it a little bit and pushed the car a little bit too hard. So he's right in that sweet spot right now with those tires. He just has to. Oh, there it goes again.
My goodness me. Harper
And
Right as soon
Laurie-
as I talk about it.
Yeah, right.
And Loria had to deal with a lap car that was having trouble, and that gave Finnegan a chance to draw up to him again.
Well, we'll have to come back to this battle here in a moment. As you said, this battle here for the lead has been shrinking. Nathan Finnegan continuing to reel it in. So Finnegan, whoa, that was sideways there, coming off the corner. Woo! Quite the dance for Finnegan. So he was all the way up to about 2/10 back, now closer to 5/10 back.
There's that bumperitis.
Indeed. And this was, we actually have another note here. This was a moment ago, actually several laps ago. Looks like Scott Patton. So we now have Sean Purcell. Maybe that was the wrong event. Let's see here. Scott Patton gets it sideways. Wow. What a job to
How
keep
that's not a caution, I have no idea.
iRacing's been fussy about cautions. When it'll throw it when something doesn't seem like it should be, and when you have cars piled up and it won't throw it. So, yeah, it's weird lately.
Barney's sleeping. That's what I'm going to equate it to. I think Barney is sleeping and is not paying attention.
Sure. He's just too into this race going on for the championship Ford that he's just not really watching some of these other battles that are happening. Now, how about this battle about to erupt between Ronnie Norman and Ryan Patty? As Patty...
Those two have been battling all season. Every time you see Ryan is either right in front of him or right behind him. These two race very similar, have the same amount of speed week in and week out. We've seen multiple times they get into each other throughout the season, so hopefully tonight they can keep it clean between each other.
Well, Christian, I haven't heard from you much. What has your luck been here at Phoenix?
I actually won here 2 years ago in the season finale for Nora, so this is one of those tracks that I'm actually really good at. If I could be, I'd be out there racing tomorrow, but I'm going to be in the booth here because it's so important to have as many people as you can calling that race, so I'm going to be up here in the booth tomorrow for you.
Well, certainly we appreciate that. Look at this now. Ryan Patty on the outside. He's going to take that position away from Justin Michael on the outside here at Phoenix. Or is he? And he does. He finally moves
Yeah,
clear.
there he goes.
So Michael,
Now Ronnie going to try to follow him here.
That might be those tires finally setting in.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Michael came in on 51. But we say that, but how about Vincent Loria? He's still out there on the same laps, same tires he came in on lap 38.
Yeah.
I told you it would work. It's
You
almost
sure
like
did.
I know what I'm talking about. I don't know. Crazy.
Well, I feel like we saw something similar to this earlier in the season when we were covering the Nora race. That was one of the first races that we actually covered for Nora. And we saw something similar where I believe it was Ronnie who decided to stay out there on the same tires for quite a bit longer than we thought was possible. And it worked out. Here it is working out tonight. Vincent Loria proving that you can stay out there for quite a lot of laps. Here we are working our way through this one on lap number 92. He's been out there for 50 plus laps. So
yeah, he's definitely going to need to come in here soon. I'm not exactly sure how much fuel they can get, but I'm assuming he's going to want to come in here fairly soon. I would say with about 50 to go, I think we'll see him coming in.
Yeah, I think it's 15 gallons is all we're allotted if my memory is good.
Yeah, so that'd be 50 or 60 laps if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, 60, 62 I think I saw on my gas guesser.
well, best lap of the race was in the 27.4 range. Last lap of the race, 28.2. So there's definitely...
That's not terrible.
Well, it's not terrible, but there's half a second in there for somebody who comes in and takes tires.
Yeah, but man, I don't know if short pitting's worth it that much,
Yes.
especially with that small of a gap between the tire fall off. So I think you're going to want to run this thing dry and run it as hard as you can to get as far of a lead as you can.
Well, and this pit lane is so long to get down to. You have to, you're parked in the corner, and you're so slow through that whole thing. You just making that time up on the fresh tires hard enough.
Yeah, you lose 2 laps almost guaranteed whenever you pit here. It's almost like Bristol in that sense. The pits are so long, and the times are so quick here. The times used to be up in the 28s, usually 29s, but now with these next-gen cars, they kind of grip the corners more and are running 27-second laps. So it's a little bit quicker, therefore you get a little bit more laps down whenever you pit.
Well, it'll be very interesting to see how these drivers decide to call this one out. Ryan Patty now in that 3rd spot, and he's turning in pretty good laps. Not quite as fast as the top 2, but certainly competitive with Cody Neal behind him. Tim Harper actually last time by faster than the 2 cars in front of him. So perhaps he's finally getting that 12's tires underneath him. And guys, this is something that can happen too. He may have started to feel that car falling off and the tires falling off, and that may have happened 10, 15 laps ago. But if you get it right for enough laps in a row, you can really get them to stabilize towards the end of a stint, and you can actually put some pretty good laps in once they've stabilized.
Oh, I've done that at Iowa many a time.
Starts to
You
go
start
on
to-
you. And
Yeah, well, and that bump in between 1 and 2, the tunnel. If you're pushing it, you get bouncy off that, then you're burning your tires up. But if you catch it and move up just 2 feet, it's less of a bump, and you can just keep that momentum up. It's a lot easier on that tire than trying to fight it after you've had that, well, kind of like here, the bounce into the dogleg.
Tell you what, Iowa, that's one of my favorite tracks. You're talking right up my alley there. I've won many times at Iowa.
I
Something
hate
about
Iowa.
that track. I just love it.
I hate Iowa, but I always seem to do good there. It's the closest. It would be my home track if I would adopt it, but again, I'm from Minnesota. We just can't do it. We can't.
No
Again, the
NASCAR
old joke.
races in. They ought to have one through the streets of Minneapolis. That'd be interesting. Cody Height down onto pit lane here.
Yeah, he's the first taker for those fresh tires. Let's see if this draws in the other guys. I don't think it will. I think he was far enough back that nobody's going to really panic, especially the top 5. They're going to stay out more than likely a couple laps here. But guys that were around him might say, you know what? I think it's time to come in. I don't want him passing me.
Yep. First thing I thought it was, the guys right that were just behind him will go maybe 1-2 laps more. Yep, and then go in.
So now I think you're going to see some of the guys in the top 5 say, okay, well, now's the time to come in.
But you can now make it on fuel, without a doubt. So now it's just how much tire did you save and how much new tires would help you.
Oh, here comes Finnegan.
Yep. Finnegan on pit road.
This is a big call here because now Vincent Loria, he's in a position where he almost has to pit next lap in order to stay right with Finnegan here.
I think he just called it.
See, sometimes I have the race chatter on, but it usually distracts me way too much. So I'm glad you're able to multitask and hear that.
Yeah, I dim it way down for this, and then I have a race on Tuesday, and I forget to turn it back up, and guys are yelling at me, and I'm like, oops, sorry.
I always feel bad that I can't ever hear it when we're doing the broadcast. And believe me, for those of you out there watching, there's a good reason why you don't want to hear the unfiltered, raw driver feed of radio broadcasts. For those of you that are racers yourselves, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'm one of those guys. I'm guilty of saying some things over the driver's radio that I'm not proud of.
Yeah, some leagues are like the other league I ran in, and this one are very strict about that. You know, you can't yell at another driver in-game radio. That's something you decide when you're off track. You don't bring it up. And this group has been really good. I mean, there's been some times I wanted to push the button and yell at somebody, but I'm the race controller in the other league I'm in, and that's my job, is to boot them if they do it. So I really have to watch my P's and Q's.
Well, a lot of takers now coming in for these pit stops, and I know that there's been, I mean, I don't think it was this league, but I think there was another league. I think in Nora, somebody got booted for something they said on the radio.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, I mean, it does get taken seriously, but that being said, I mean, tempers do flare, and sometimes people say things, you know, not bad enough that they're going to get kicked out of the league, but it's still bad enough that it's something that we don't want to air on VirtualRacing.Network. And there's just a lot of it too, you know. It's quite interesting to have that driver chatter going on, because there's a lot of talking back and forth between the drivers.
Yeah, there's a clear line of where you can't go past. And that guy that we're talking about in that other league, he took about 40 steps past the line. So you can never go that far. I mean, you know, calling each other, you know, playful names and stuff, that's fine. But whenever you like attack someone personally, that's way too far.
Yep. I always tell the guys, you can get mad. I've gotten mad. Just don't push the button. It takes your thumb. Just don't push down on it.
I'm actually guilty of a long time ago. This is a long time ago I'm talking. But during the race, I got interviewed and I was mad at somebody in the race. In that interview, I decided to take my frustration out and call him out, and that got me suspended for an entire season. So that was not a smart move.
Oh boy.
PR, you know, the league looks out for their PR with that too.
Yeah, I'm glad I've learned and grown over the years, because that me is not the me that I am now.
I can remember when I first started on iRacing, was going up through the series, you know, it's 7-8 years ago. And some of the let's just say there were a lot of sailors in the official races back then. You heard words, it's like, I had to think back. It's like, no, I never even had a drill sergeant call me that name. Holy cow.
Well, we do have a race going on, and I tell you what, Harper, I like this call. He's hoping for a caution right now. That's all he's doing. Oh, here we might get a caution.
Ronnie Norman has a big moment.
Oh man, Harper was begging for that to be a caution. Let's see what happens here.
Almost.
I think he was just trying to wolf for the pits, and he was trying to wolf for the pits, and he got stuck on that yellow line.
Oh man, Harper needed that caution, and that's a teammate. So, wonder if his arm got itchy. Maybe he turned intentionally, trying to get a caution there.
Ooh, we got an incident. Harper just got turned.
Oh no.
And there is Harper sitting backwards on the track, and Steven Tuck.
Yeah, there was no one on the lead lap near him, so he just got taken out by a lap car.
They kind of got clustered there, and I think somebody just didn't roll up enough.
All right, let's see what happened. Oh my goodness. You can't do that. Man.
Well, Christian, I'm not sure what to say about that one.
Yeah, that's just uncalled for. I mean, I can see what happened. He has somebody on his bumper, so he wanted to not brake too early. But when you got a playoff guy in front of you, you can't risk it. Brake early and send yourself. Don't send the guy in front of you.
Well, and he couldn't move over to the left because he had a car right to his inside, too, so he was kind of stuck behind him, but yeah.
Yeah, you just got to have more situational awareness there. I mean, I get it. There's a playoff guy behind you and in front of you, but in that situation, you got to take your lumps. You gotta brake when you are supposed to for the corner. Man,
I wonder if he just happened to look back in the mirror to see how close Loria was to him and then lost track of his point.
well, I can tell you, I'm sure Harper is blaming Vincent Loria for that one. Because Vincent got right on to Steven Tuck's bumper and was actually touching it and kind of forced Steven Tuck into Harper. So
Well, guys,
those two aren't very friendly with each other, so now Harper has a reason to be mad.
well, let's take a look. I mean, I don't see a lot of damage to Harper. I mean, I'm sure he's upset nonetheless for going up there and having to tap that wall and losing some time on the track, but he is still in fourth position. And if he hasn't hurt the steering on that machine too badly, he may not be that bad off after this incident.
But yeah, he's going to have to come into the pit. Same with Justin Michael. These guys are all going to pit, and that's going to give a lot of these guys their laps back. So he should be okay. He'll still be up in the top 5, top 6 maybe. But yeah, that was interesting there. Caught a lot of guys a lap down, even Nathan Finnegan.
Well, I was hoping that maybe we can get a chat with Nathan Finnegan, because I don't know how many more opportunities we'll have, but I'd like to get a chance to chat with all 4 of our Championship 4.
Yeah, I'm not sure when the pits are going to open here, or if they already have, or what the situation is, but I mean, these guys are going to have to pit up toward the front. It's a weird situation going on right now.
The lights are off.
And a lot of discussion in game too.
Lights are
Yeah,
off. They're sending everybody around, so Finnegan going around. So I guess we'll just have to wait until the next caution period to get a chance to chat with those drivers, as they're now
maybe
in
they
pit mode.
Maybe they pit while we were watching the replay, possibly, because
They did come in on 103.
yeah, no, they didn't.
Yeah, Purcell back through Patton. Kyle Purcell back through Sean Purcell came in on 114, and then you've got Nathan Finnegan who came in on lap 103. and on back 102, 100, 112, 105, 103. So
what in the world just happened?
I don't know, but
These
it's
guys
almost
all have
as though the
to pit.
lap down guys did not get a call to come into the pits.
Well, these guys didn't even pit. None of these 6, and
Yeah,
they all have to.
They came in
before the
on
end of this race.
114.
Oh, they did come in? Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, then that's interesting.
Well, either way, look, nobody caught up from the back. They're all still back.
Oh man.
And they were sent, and they went as fast as they could. But anyway, we're back under green. Cody Neal in the lead with Justin Michael in second. Cody Neal legit in the lead with Justin Michael there, and Tim Harper now sliding up into third place.
And it's actually kind of helped Harper there. And now Vincent Loria, he's going to take a 3 wide, try to pass 2 cars in the dog leg here. Now he's going to try to get under Purcell too. He's trying to make up all the ground he can.
Yeah, Loria does not want to lose touch with the top 2 cars. There's only about 41 laps remaining. He's going to
So
try.
what lap did Vincent Loria come in on?
Loria 104.
And then Tim Harper came in at 114, right?
Yes, 114.
Oh my. Then Harper and Justin Michael are in a lot better of a situation than Vincent Loria is.
For sure. I mean, but then again, we were talking about this before about how possibly 10 laps on the tires is not necessarily the end of the world, as we did see Loria pretty much able to hold on through the whole stint and average out those tires with clean air. But right now, Loria putting in great times, fastest sector 1 time of the race. And just behind, you see Scott Patton and Kyle Purcell racing for position. That's for 5th place. But back up front, this is for the lead. Cody Neal holding on at the moment. Justin Michael sitting in 2nd place. Tim Harper and Vincent Loria now in 4th. So 3 of your 4 championship contenders now in the top 4.
This is going to get interesting between Harper and Loria. If Harper is thinking the same way that I was thinking there, then he is going to make it absolutely impossible for the 67 to get around him. He is going to make that car 5 lanes wide and try to keep Vincent behind him.
Loria comes up and touches the wall on exit of turn 2. See, as they continue on through now, Loria still putting in good laps, just about exactly the same as Tim Harper, and neither one of those 2 are matching the times up in front. A full 10th faster for Justin Michael, and Cody Neal about half a 10th faster.
I think the timing of that caution fell perfectly for Justin Michael. Without another caution, I think this thing has landed in his hands. I mean, he's going to have a really tough time with Cody Neal. He's a teammate to Vincent Loria. So the longer Neal holds up Justin Michael, the better it is. And, oh, man. He sent it in there.
He sure
what a
did.
pass.
And Neal gave him a ton of room. Now, Neal's going to come back on the inside of the dog leg.
That could be the move of the race there. Unless this one is. Here he goes. Crossover.
Wow, what a crossover. And Michael tries to go down to the inside on the exit, unable to take that position. Excellent crossover move for Cody Neal, and a great response to Justin Michael's send.
Well, he's got to get by him because Tim Harper is catching up with these guys battling like this. And if Harper's catching up, then Loria definitely is too. So he's got to be mindful. He doesn't need to win this race to win the championship. He can finish second and still win this thing. He just has to keep his head clean here.
As long as the guy who is in first is not Tim Harper or Vincent Loria.
Exactly, yeah. And Harper kind of catching him a little bit, but he's got too much damage on that rear bumper, I think, to put up a fair fight with Justin Michael. He might have to pull a Ross Chastain or something and stick that thing up against the wall in the last lap to even have a chance.
During testing, I actually tried that here, and this wall, no. You do not hold the speed. It declines really quickly, even with your foot all the way down.
All right,
Everybody tried that after Chastain did it. Come on.
Hey, it works at Martinsville. I set my all-time best lap doing it.
Yeah, I know. It just this. Some walls are different. This one is just not one of them.
Yeah, this wall, it kind of, it'll, because of the skew of the cars with this setup, it kind of takes them and just holds them the entire corner.
The Gen 4s are terrible for that. If you just rub that wall, it's like a suction cup to get it off of it.
Yeah, I think more doable if you were in an Xfinity car. I believe those could probably run it.
Pretty sure that Ryan Patty and Ronnie Norman just traded some paint back here for 9th place.
That's not surprising.
Indeed. And
might be the 50th time this season that they've done it.
You were talking about it earlier, Christian. Norman manages to prevail for the time being as they work, just about to work under Sean Purcell there for that 8th position. But meanwhile, up in 7th, can't forget about this guy. He's won a whole bunch of races. He's been an all-star here in the playoffs. Nathan Finnegan for Collar City Racing. He's still in this. I mean, back in 7th place, yes.
He needs a caution.
3.8 seconds up to Cody Neal, so he does need a caution, but will he get it? 29 laps to go. Does he have something special in those tires that we don't know about? He is.
That last caution actually kind of hurt him. That whole group got caught back, and as we were watching, they were driving their butts off, and they couldn't get back to the field by the time it took off.
Yeah, Vincent Loria was in that group. He was the best out of those guys right now, but if he was able to catch up, or if they extended the caution one more lap, I think Nathan Finnegan would be right up there with Vincent Loria.
Yep.
So maybe something to look at for the future in a situation like that, extend the caution one lap. But still, these guys having a great race out here. Vincent Loria still in it. He's got a chance if something happens to Michael and Harper. Finnegan obviously has a chance if there's a caution. So everyone still has a shot, but if this thing stays green, I think it's Justin, Michael, or Harper. As you can see, Harper's catching them.
Yeah, it's been a really good race for these guys, Neil, Michael, but Harper has stayed right there. And Harper's had a couple of loose moments where we weren't sure if he was going to catch it or not, but look at how he has closed in on Michael here towards the end of this stage, or the end of this stint here on these tires. This is getting very interesting for Tim Harper, as it's now under a half a second up there to Justin Michael.
And I just saw Loria on a little wiggle coming out of 3. So, yeah, obviously the guys are starting to get a little tired. This track takes a lot out of you.
Always thinking, always turning. It's a lot like Richmond or someplace like that, where you're Iowa too, where you're never really done turning the car.
Yep.
Makes you feel like you're racing on dirt, honestly, because you're always up on the wheel in a dirt race.
Like Iowa, your wheel may come to center for a second on the backstretch, but that's about it.
Tell you what, I'm really impressed with Harper having that damage on his rear bumper. It's clearly not affecting him. He's running pretty good. Of course, it could be another one of those situations where, you bend that right rear spoiler down a little bit, keeps it out of the air, runs a little bit quicker, maybe tightens it up. We've seen guys do it intentionally in real life, let's not fix that part because that's actually going to help us. Or let's cut off this part because it's going to cool down the brakes more.
It does absolutely work, and if that damage just happens to take it out of the template zone, well, they don't have to worry about that here in the Icon Cup Series. There are no template, no post-race technical scrutineering, so however you manage to win it, nobody cares.
I have been told by a driver behind me, you know, your back fender looks like it's kind of bent. That must be affecting you. I always just keep them go, I'm in front of you.
Yeah.
You want me to pit for that reason.
Yeah.
I'm in front of you.
They're trying to get in your head, and I know that's a big,
Yep.
that is a big factor, especially in official racing, using the driver comm specifically to try to get into your opponent's head.
Yeah.
You know, some of the best races I've done on official racing is where I just turned off the driver comm.
That's the most accurate. Yeah. I usually always mute it before a race. Like, I'll listen, you know, during practice and qualifying, and maybe under caution I'll turn it on just to hear the fights, because they're always entertaining. But usually whenever it's go time, I turn that off, even in leagues.
Yeah, it just gets to be annoying listening to people complaining about other drivers for the 50th time. You know, it's
Or the setup, or the different time of day this would run better. Yeah.
Or they want to talk about their favorite food for, you know, 20 minutes.
right.
Yeah, there you go.
Right.
Those are usually at like 4 in the morning whenever you're racing. I don't know if you guys have ever raced that early, but it's a different crowd out there.
Oh yeah, it is. Well, it's you got the midnight crowd, you got the 2 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning people, you got the early risers at 6 a.m. You know, got your middle of the day crowd. Everybody's different. It's for sure different, and I know it also matters what part of the world is just getting off work at that time. You know, when I was on the West Coast, certain times of the day I'd race, I'd get a bunch of Brazilian drivers. Other times of the day I'd get the European drivers. If you race in the middle or like towards the evening times or first thing in the morning, you get a lot of Australasian drivers that are there. So obviously it just... Oh, we got somebody in the wall up there. I'm not sure who that was. Somebody just put that one up in the wall. I don't think it was Stephen Tuck. He was already out. Somebody had just put that thing up into the wall.
It was just a ricochet.
It might have been Adam Ball. I'm not really sure. But yeah, well, it continued on, whoever it was, and it did not cause a note on our side. Norman and Finnegan have been racing. Now Patton is into the pit, so it might have been Scott Patton.
Real quick, Justin Michael is pulled away from Tim Harper now, and Harper's falling back toward Vincent Loria. So Harper may have run his tires off a little too soon.
Scott Patton also has now exited the race from 8th place. But as you said, Michael now up almost a second on Harper. So this is interesting. Michael clearly knows he does not need to win this race in order to win the championship. So he doesn't need to go chase down that 1.3 seconds on Cody Neal and run off those tires. As a result, he's just going to hang on there in second place and try and take this championship. Tim Harper, I don't think he's trying to lull anybody into a false sense of security. 15 laps to go here. This is quickly turning into do or die time for these championship contenders. Harper needs a small miracle right now to get that 1.5 seconds back from Michael, but it keeps growing. And Vincent Loria, hey, when he was solo up there in the front with that clean air, he was able to run away with things. And now he's running into the wall, trying to chase down Tim Harper. So this is going from a dream night in the early going to being a little bit of a nightmare for Vincent Loria, who might have to settle for third in the championship overall.
So and ironically, Vincent Loria kind of suffering from a move that he kind of caused, not necessarily caused, but had a factor in, kind of ruined the race for himself. But he's desperate for a caution right now, and I'm sure Finnegan is too. So you got to ask, what are these guys willing to do to get a caution? You know, we've seen in real life you're able to like throw a water bottle or something out, get a caution, but these guys could easily, you know, just go up there and, oh, I didn't mean to get into you. You know, glad a caution came out, but I didn't mean that.
Well, we'll see if
just a thought.
if a magic yellow flag gets waved for some sort of reason, but right now it's all Cody Neal. He's kind of taken charge here in the second half of this race, and he hasn't really looked back. It's been a solid run for Cody Neal. For the 313 Motorsports team, Justin Michael sitting in second, a ways back, now coming up on 2 seconds. And Tim Harper, he's had another stellar run, but again, feels like every time out we're saying top 5, but top 5 just isn't good enough. Top 3, even podium contention, isn't good enough tonight when Justin Michael is in front of you, and he'll take that Icon Cup Series championship if he stays there. 10 laps to go for Cody Neal for the finale race of the Icon Cup Series 2023. Justin Michael still in proximity, but there's no way he's going to catch him on pace right now, so he's hoping that nothing happens. If anybody's hoping that there is no caution flag that comes out, it's Justin Michael right now.
So the second place guy doesn't need to beat the winner of the race to win a championship. Where have we heard that today?
Yes, indeed. It's commonplace, and it's, you know, everybody knew it coming in, and yet it kind of figured with the way that everybody qualified at the front, and everybody was sort of racing at the front of this one, you kind of figured, you know, it might be Loria, and he was doing very well early in the race. Justin Michael came 19 positions forward at one point to get into the top spot. But, I mean, guys, Cody Neal has been absolutely stellar in the back half of this championship. One might wonder if he had found, if you know, the season had been another 5 or 10 races longer, maybe we might see Cody Neal in the Final Four, if not possibly winning this championship with the type of effort that he's put in.
If it weren't for that little slip last week, he might have had a chance at it. But yeah, that little incident last week that he lost it at Dover, that kind of set him out of the playoffs. So this is kind of his get even thing.
Well, it's something to
if I
celebrate.
had made it, you know what I mean?
Oh, definitely.
Living in a world of ifs, that's not a world you like to live in, though.
No, but you do the best with what you have. And with 5 laps to go, you know, Cody Neal, he may have been out of the playoffs, but he says, I can go out there, still win the race, and end this season on a high note. And as a result, he's going out there to try to take that win. And, of course, he's in a perfect position to try to do something for his teammate, Vincent Loria, try to, you know, fight off Justin Michael, fight off Tim Harper if they come up there, try and slow him down so that Loria could get up there and try and chase his championship. I'm sure he would be glad to do, you know, to trade this. I mean, I assume he would be glad to trade this win for Loria to get the championship, but when you're walking away from it, from Justin Michael and from Tim Harper, there's not much you can really do but just cruise on to victory.
It's harder to drive slowing up your pace than, you know, anytime you break your pace, it gets tougher to drive just to keep laps going. So once you've got that pace, and if you're walking away, you got to stay at that pace.
Indeed you do. It's been an amazing season for these drivers. 3 laps, just about to be 2 laps to go for Cody Neal. Justin Michael in prime position. Tim Harper, he has fought valiantly, but he finds himself back here in 3rd spot without much chance of catching up to Justin Michael. Vincent Loria in 4th place right now, fighting with everything that he's got, but it will be too little too late for this championship. And Kyle Purcell, having a great run here tonight, up into 5th spot. Nathan Finnegan just on the other side of Ronnie Norman. Norman was in this championship until the very end, but Nathan Finnegan in the championship 4, and sadly, this race has gone sour for him. Cody Neal, though, putting on a show here at Phoenix in the finale. He's got just 2 more corners to go to hang on to victory. And of course, what could have been, if things had been just a little different a race ago, but he'll manage to hold on here at Phoenix, and he'll get it sideways and bring it across the line in the lead. He'll win the race here tonight, but Justin Michael is the icon of 2023.
Yeah, impressive run for Justin Michael throughout the season. He finally was able to get that win at Darlington, I believe it was, his first win of the season, and then he's been lights out ever since. And well-deserved championship here for Justin Michael, and let's see if he decides to burn it down here. Tim Harper coming up, congratulating him. A couple other drivers coming up too. I'm sure this is going to be one of his best burnouts here if he does one. Let's see. There he goes. Cody Neal doing them beside him as well.
Well, the season has finally come to a close, and Justin Michael already able to feel that sigh of relief. It is now the initial championship of the Icon Cup Series now belongs to Justin Michael. So with that, we're going to step aside for just a second. We're going to get the final results together. We will be back with your top 3, including your champion, Justin Michael. Stay tuned. And welcome back here on VirtualRacing.Network. Just commenting on Justin Michael, who has pulled his car into the actual victory lane here at Phoenix Raceway, and he apparently wasn't quite satisfied. He wanted to make sure it was in the right spot for all the photos and for us to be able to, capture him coming out of the car and taking his championship. But Cody Neal taking your win here tonight. Fabulous run for 313 Motorsports, and again, a little bittersweet as what could have been for Cody Neal, but nevertheless, he'll take home the race winning hardware, and that's all that matters to him tonight. Second place will go to your new series champion, the icon himself, Justin Michael. At times this season, he's looked like he was in a totally different zip code than everyone else, but here tonight he didn't quite have the car to beat, but he did everything he needed to take the championship. Second place was good enough to take the icon for Bandit Motorsports. They have a lot to celebrate, and I know you guys joined us over here in our YouTube chat room, so a lot to celebrate right now. Timothy Harper taking third, and again, so close for Harper Motorsports. Literally one position was the only difference between a championship and second place in the championship, but that is it. Vincent Loria, again, he's got to say, what a difficult night. He led so many laps in the early going just to find himself back in 4th spot. Kyle Purcell in 5th place, 6th going to Ronnie Norman, 7th to Nathan Finnegan, 8th to Ryan Patty, 9th Sean Purcell. Cody Height brings it home in 10th place, 11th belonging to Jacob Gladelich, 12th to Kevin Gunther. 13th, to Adam Ball. 14th, Zach Lockett. 15th to Brock Hersey. 16th, Jamison Haviland. 17th, Robert Bluen. 18th to Scott Patton. 19th, Evan Patinko. 20th, Stephen Tuck. 21st, Brendan Jenks. 22nd, going to Jordan Byers tonight. So, interesting race it was. And I know this is going to be a really difficult interview. So, Christian, I think I'll let you take it with Tim.
Yeah, he's my former driver, so I probably have the best shot at communicating with him on this one. So I'll go ahead and catch up with Tim Harper here. Timmy, man, third place. You finished second in the championship, but I tell you what, man, you had a phenomenal race. Came back from backwards on the track to finish in third. Tell us about that race, man, and how you were able to come back to get that third place.
Second again. It just never ends. Like last year, I finished second in the trucks, and then I was playing the long run on the fuel to try to, have more tire at the end there, and I just got ran over. And I guess it kind of worked out in my favor because some people were still lapped, and I could pit, get tires, and start in front of them. And then it looked like Vincent Loya just didn't have the car in traffic. And I knew I could be good on the long run, and that's why I was hoping Justin would kind of wear his tires out, and it just never happened. I ended up just didn't feel good getting into the corner under braking. It kept wanting to break loose on me, and I just couldn't do what I wanted to do. So,
well, looking back at this race, when you do go back and watch, what are some things that you can take away from this and learn for future circumstances? Like, what can you do differently to win this thing? What do you think?
Find some speed. Vincent was real fast tonight, and I don't know how he wasn't, getting loose on the long run. I think on each long run we had, I think I was catching him a little bit, but he pulled out farther than me, so it was kind of hard to reel him back in. But I don't know, just figure out how to save the rears a little better and not get loose under braking. It felt fine off the corner most of the time, but once I got loose that one time and in the corner, it just killed my run.
Yeah, this track is definitely tough with that and tires and getting loose. The seams can sometimes cause that too. So, but I tell you what, you still got two races this week here at Phoenix. So do you think you learned enough that maybe you could possibly win in the trucks or cup in Nora?
I probably could have practiced a little more this week. I think I didn't like maybe one official race this week. But maybe save the rear, find out how to save the tire a little more. I won last time in Nora when we came here, so I was excited to come back and try to win again. But maybe we can do that on Tuesday or maybe tomorrow. I don't think I'm as good in trucks here as I am in the cup car, but we'll just have to find out tomorrow.
All right, well, before we let you go here, anyone you want to give a shout out to?
Although I want to thank y'all for putting on the great broadcast. Can't wait to watch it, and thank Pay to Win and 213 Simware and for being on the car. I want to thank my teammates, Cody Height and Ronnie Norman, for sticking it out through the season and kind of learning with me and running here in the playoffs. We made a good playoff run, just come up just a little bit short.
All right, man. Well, you did finish podium, so congrats on that, and maybe you can take that positive away that you ran good here tonight, so maybe you can run good Monday and Tuesday. So good luck to you in those two races, and hopefully we see you back here for next season in Icon.
Thank you.
All right, that's Tim Harper, third place finisher and second in the championship. Who's going to take second place? Or, well, I guess we're going to do the winner of the race first, actually, which we never really do. But who wants to take the winner of the race here? Cody Neal.
I'll be glad to take Cody. And Hanover, if you got any questions for Cody, feel free to chime in at any point, okay?
Oh, yeah, my throat's a little dry, so that's why I'm kind of letting you two go at it here.
Well, sounds good. I'll pull him up here.
Well, Cody Neal, what a spectacular drive. I think you kind of showed everybody here tonight just what was possible for you in this championship. And man, what a great run. And it's got to feel a little bittersweet, though, knowing that you were that close to being in this championship at the end.
Yeah, really wish I could have advanced last weekend, but I was pretty much in a win to advance kind of thing. But yeah, it was nice getting the win tonight and moving on to next season with some confidence. So,
well, a huge run there in the second half of this race. Now, you were up there all night tonight. Is Phoenix just one of your tracks? You put a lot of effort into practicing here. What was your take on this tonight? And certainly, was it the clean air at the end that really allowed you to stay out there in front?
Yeah, definitely the clean air tonight really played a big role in who was able to lead. Vinny was actually on like 8-lap old tires right there after the stage break and held the lead for a long time. But yeah, no, Phoenix is a great track. Absolutely love it. Didn't really practice that much this week, to be honest, but glad it all worked out in the end.
Well, you were there through much of the season. You came on really strong at the second half of the season, getting a race win and certainly looking strong through many races, holding top positions, including taking the lead at many of our races. Certainly you're looking forward to next year, but what's it been like for you to race in this series this year? It's the inaugural series season. What was your take on Icon, and do you think there was a point that maybe you could have done something a little bit different to get yourself into the finale?
I don't know if there was really anything I could have done different. Obviously win last weekend, but no, I don't know. I love this year. This has been so much fun. You'll definitely be seeing us back next season. Might be a little bit of a change on our team roster, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, well, I gotta give it out to Ryan Patty putting this all together week after week, and you guys up in the booth. You guys do a phenomenal job every week. Everybody involved. Yeah, right. Everybody involved that puts this all together. Big shout out to everyone. A lot of good guys in here with great skills and abilities, and I like seeing everybody put them to good use Sunday nights.
Well, it's been an absolute pleasure watching you out there. You kept everybody honest the back half of this season and gave everybody a solid run for it. And of course, taking a couple of victories in this series, I think you've spoken very loudly what we can expect out of Cody Neal next season in our second ever Icon Cup Series. Congratulations on your win tonight. Anybody else that you wanted to thank before we continue this broadcast?
The guys back home 3-3, I know Brian was kind of in and out the second half of the year, but Vinny, he had a good run. It's unfortunate it didn't work out there, but yeah, thank you guys again, and we'll see you guys next year.
It sounds great. Thank you so much for joining us, Cody. Good luck in your off season, and we'll talk to you again real soon.
Yep, thanks.
So that is Cody Neal, who takes victory here at Phoenix. A big win for him, and certainly is he, as he said, they're going to have to do some restructuring in the team at 313, but he's going to be back in Icon next season. And so I guess that means we now get a chance to bring in the man of the evening, the guy who, he didn't finish first, but he finished second on the track, and that was good enough And Justin, I tell you what, man, it seemed like every time that you had a car this season that was good enough to be there in the top 2, you took the victory. But second was good enough tonight to take the championship. Congratulations on being the very first ever Icon in the Icon Cup Series.
I appreciate it, guys. We definitely did not have the fastest car, and that last yellow really fell in our lap, and it really worked out for us. And I think the 12 also got into somebody there that last run as well. But I just had to I just drove that last run completely different than I had the whole race. I was backing up turn 1 a lot more, and it really helped me from getting super loose, because after about 20-30 laps, this car was junk, and I would be half a second slower than what L'Oreal was.
Yeah, and we saw that. We saw you also losing a little bit of time to Tim Harper, kind of around the same spot. Just seemed like different drivers were hitting that sweet spot or hitting the low spot on the tires at exactly different times. Nevertheless, it was the course of long green flag runs tonight. Didn't come down to a green-white checkered situation. No super short shootout for the checkered flag. As a result, you managed to stay very consistent, and you were 2.85 seconds back at the checkered flag, but you managed to hold a great gap over Tim Harper and the rest of the field throughout the entire race. So what was that like for you? Were you just really strategically managing those tires over the back half of the race?
Yeah, just like I said, I had to really learn how to drive 1 and 2 a lot differently, and when I did, it really helped. I was just, I don't know, I think I was overdriving it the first half of the race, and then the second half I kind of just backed it down. I noticed people who were on the inside of me were hitting the brakes a lot sooner than I was, so it just kind of, I just had to do what they did, and it really helped a lot. And then, I had nothing for Cody. I mean, if it came down to me having to win the race, I would have lost, so I had nothing for him. There was a couple of laps there where I got side by side with him, and I thought maybe he was holding me up for a teammate to catch me. And I'm like, well, if he does this for another lap or 2, I'm gonna have to give him the business, because this is not gonna work. So, but he ended up just like a bullet, just shot out of a cannon. He's gone. So that worked out for us.
Well, still, how great was this to win in front of Tim Harper and Vincent Loria? I mean, it couldn't have been closer for this championship. Nathan Finnegan was right up there, and you know that if Finnegan had a chance to be in the top 3 at the very end of this race, he would have given you even more of a challenge. I mean, the cream was at the top here tonight, and for you to finish just in front of Tim Harper, and that's the difference in the championship, it's got to say something about the competition you face this season here in Icon.
Oh, it does. The competition here is top notch. I love it. It just makes you a better driver. And like I said, I was the slowest of the 4. I don't know how I ended up winning it, but those guys, they were rock solid all night up until the end there, and that really helped us a ton. But I fully expected one of them to win coming into the race, just because of how slow I was compared to them.
You made a ton of passes out there tonight, though. I mean, starting in that first stage, at one point you had gained 19 spots on the track. What was it like making those passes? Were you just no fear, go for it, full send? Was that your strategy? Just, I don't know if I'm going to be the fastest, I'm just going to send it and hope for the best? Or
pretty much,
yeah,
that's all I could do. I was starting 20th. I screwed up my qualifying, and it's like, well, I got to get to the front and get to these guys. So like I said, I think even right off the start, I sent it 4 wide on Scott and a couple other people. It was just like, just got to go balls to the walls and get it done and try to get up there.
Well, obviously, who do you want to thank for your run to second and taking this championship, and what does it mean to win with the West Virginia logo on there?
You always got to support the home state, so I said I wasn't going to run the car anymore after winning with it about a month ago, but I figured it was bringing me some good luck, so I figured I'd run it the rest of the season. But Scott really helped out a lot after he got knocked out. He was spotting for us and calling out lap times compared to the 12 and the 67, so I definitely appreciate him for sticking around, helping us out, and all the Bandit guys helping us out. I don't know if they were in the broadcast watching, but we always appreciate those guys. And Scott painted the car too, so he's a good painter. Patent Paints, check him out. And just hopefully it was a good show out there for everybody. I gotta go back and watch it. I usually don't watch a lot of broadcasts, but I'll probably go back and watch this one.
Well, and we did get a couple of guys drifting over to support Bandit. We do appreciate it, and of course, we always appreciate you out there, Justin. Great competitor, and always a benchmark for the rest of these drivers to try to see if they can beat you. And tonight, only one guy could, but it wasn't for the title. You are the icon for 2023. Congratulations.
Appreciate it, guys.
So,
thanks. It's been a great season.
Well, and are we going to see out there for next season?
Should. I'm hoping it's a full season next year. I don't know what their plans are.
All right. Well, we'll hope for that as well, and we'll look forward to seeing you then. In the meantime, enjoy that crown of the icon, and of course, enjoy your off season, my friend.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.
So that is Justin Michael, your champion of the Icon Cup Series inaugural season. Fantastic run from him, and we can't. I mean, guys. This has been spectacular. I was thinking, why don't we see if we can get, and in fact, Christian has had to step out for a minute, but I wanted a chance to bring you in, Ryan. Are you there, buddy? I don't know if he's still there, right? Nope. Was hoping to bring in Ryan Patty, who's the admin here in the Icon Cup Series, and get a chance to chat with him before we cut out for the end of the season. But congratulations to him, and certainly to everybody who's been involved here in the Icon Cup Series, including Nathan Finnegan, who I believe is gone at the moment. I was going to try to drag him in here, but I don't see him available either. But he does a lot of the work behind the scenes with Ryan Patty, and Ryan does so much week in and week out to put together the graphics, to do all the race reviews, and to just communicate with everybody and make sure that all these races are set up. And what a spectacular first season it has been. And Ryan, you there? I don't know if we're going to get Ryan, but either way, Hanover...
Dave's not here.
Dave's not here, man. Well, Hanover, what's your thoughts on this season? What was your thoughts on the race here tonight?
It was a battle again. It was about saving tires. It was about getting into a rhythm and holding that rhythm, as Cody did. That last section, he just kept hitting his mark, didn't let anything throw him off. That's the formula for winning. It's just focus and not let yourself overdrive or underdrive. If you underdrive, you get run over. If you overdrive, you run into somebody. I've had some really good races around these guys at tracks I didn't even like running. Darlington was a race that I enjoyed running around Ronnie and Loria and those guys at a track that I thought I wouldn't do squat at. I still finished decent, so, and I learned from them, and I may even showed them a trick or two, because later in the race they would start to drift down to where I was running my line. So, as a group, if you can pass on that little bit of racing knowledge back and forth, and again, it's you don't just know the track. You have to know the other drivers and what they tend to do, because you're going to be racing against the same guys week after week after week. If you haven't figured them out by the end of the season, you're in trouble.
Well, and that's the great thing, is that this group has been together and they've pretty well figured each other out. And by the end of the season, you kind of just would love it if it just kept going, because you could really use another 10 or 20 with this same group. Now that you got it all figured out, now it's like, oh, okay, let's do this for real now. But anyway, Hanover, it's been great having you in the booth with us for several of the races this season, my friend. And
I'd still rather be driving, but sometimes it's just safer to take the broadcaster's shirt and put on.
Well, very appreciated, and we'll look forward to doing more broadcasts with you, my friend.
Anytime I can help.
Well, so on behalf of Hanover and Christian Snyder, who I think has left the building at the moment, but certainly we appreciate everybody who has joined us here. We've had several different announcers over the season, and it's been a lot of fun covering the Icon Cup Series. Make sure to check out all of the races from the season in our YouTube channel here on VirtualRacing.Network. And of course, stay tuned for more updates. You can check out the Icon Cup Series on Facebook. There is a Discord that you can join if you're interested in joining for next season. You'll just want to go through either iRacing and apply, or go on over to the Facebook page and send a message. So on behalf of everybody here at VirtualRacing.Network, all the drivers, the administration in the Icon Cup Series, we want to thank you so much for joining us here and watching live. It's been so much fun covering this, and all of you who participate in the chat and let us know that they appreciate it. Hey, thank you so much. And thanks to those who sponsored the races this season as well. It's been an absolute pleasure. I'm Trevor Greenfield, signing off for the final race of 2023. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening and a great holiday season upcoming. In the meantime, we do have 2 more great championship finale races coming up here tomorrow night. It'll be the NORA Truck Series and the Decision race, the finale at Phoenix, followed by the NORA Cup Series on Tuesday night, right here on VirtualRacing.Network. So if you're not a subscriber, make sure to hit that subscribe button and like this video. It'll get out there to even more people. I hope you have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you here again tomorrow night for the NORA Truck Series. Bye-bye, everybody.